Hello, hello, good day. Kraig Smyth here, MyBizGuide, Business of Being Human, and another edition of Disengage from Linear Mindset. What we talk about when we talk about disengage from linear mindset, disengage from the status quo, disengage from unhealthy human behaviors and habits, discussing maybe sometimes how we got those habits. Maybe sometimes it doesn't matter how we got where we're at, as long as we see the problems with that and make changes accordingly. So, I wanted to talk about the coronavirus. Of course, that's what everyone's talking about, right? Everything is always happening with each topic. There's never just there's never just one part to the story. There's always a mental, physical, spiritual, emotional side to every circumstance, to every happening. Well, the coronavirus, one thing that got this started is people talking about the economic impact. And of course, there's going to be an economic impact. Of course, that's monetary factors facilitate trade, that sort of thing. But that really articulates a lot of the problems in contemporary society and a lot of the problems that are increasing the challenges associated with, in this case, coronavirus, but any type of disease. And the observation that people are concerned about the economy really exemplifies the problem of the human species as a whole. The human species is in a challenging point in its existence because it has failed to recognize the value of other life and has selfishly put itself ahead of all other life and has shown blatant disregard for all other life. Well, the ramifications, of course, are that the planet is a finite system and we are all connected. So by disregarding other life forms and disrespecting other life forms and the planet itself, that backlash is coming back around to us. And you could talk about karma and that kind of thing, but actually my point is that it's basic biology, in where our species has put itself ahead, has falsely put itself on a higher value than other species, and this has created mass population densities. And anytime you have mass population densities, there's going to be virus outbreaks or bug outbreaks, or using that as a placeholder term. Anytime there's overpopulation, there's going to be sickness, and it spreads fast. And that's life. That's how life works. One could say that is how nature helps keep populations in check. So that's an important thing to recognize. And when are people going to recognize ourselves as another species in this planet? If there are so many densely populated areas of any other organism, people would be screaming and crying overpopulation, but not ourselves. So let's try and be the intelligent beings that we're capable of, and acknowledge natural systems, acknowledge sustainability, acknowledge finite systems, and let's be part of that. Let's strive to be part of these systems, and let's strive to think about other species aside from the human species. If we think about other species aside from the human species, we can say, wow, maybe it's time for those other species to catch up and to catch half a break. maybe it's time for nature to catch up and catch half a break from the onslaught of contemporary society. So again, the fact that the economy is being brought up just really exemplifies the problem. Really, this should be a time when it's a time for change. This whole system is crap. It was built on crap. It's not sustainable. Money is not the foundation of life, and it can't be viewed as the foundation of life. When I say it can't be, I mean it can't be in order for things to function in reality, sustainably, taking into account total wellness of organisms, the human organism. Government, money, clocks is not the foundation of life. Those are man-made objects. They can potentially be used in life, but they cannot be the default of life. Again, and I'll say it again, solve your problems without money, government, or a clock. Just eliminate those things. When people default to those factors, they're disconnected from reality. That is not actually, legitimately, factually how life is. Real life, food, water, shelter, clean air, soil, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual well-being, these factors. So let's take this time to look at those factors and to look at the possibility of change. The good thing about challenges like this is a global challenge. So one, what it should be doing is it should be creating realization that, wow, everyone's equal on this planet. Everyone's susceptible to this. We are not separate governments operating independently. The virus does not care about walls and borders drawn on a map. This is a global situation. This is a time for everybody to understand that the human species is all connected, and it's all connected to every other life form. Point. Did you hear that last part? The human species is all connected, and it's connected to every other life form, including the planet as a whole. This is one thing that we should be focused on. The fact that there's going to be economic challenges articulates the need to not be solely dependent on monetary exchange for life. Everyone knows, like, we make money, right? So when people say, oh, there's a scarcity of money, there's not really a scarcity of money. You can't make that up. There's either a scarcity or there's not a scarcity. There's not a scarcity. We built the machine that makes money. The only reason there would be a scarcity is if the machine broke, if they can't find someone to operate the machine, if they need to hire new people to print the money-making machine. Do you understand this? You cannot manufacture a false value system. You cannot. It doesn't work. There's no way to live that lie. It is a fact. Our species cannot live with these lies. Now it's the time to start dissolving those false narratives. And again, I'll say it again because I always need to say it. I'm not saying anything bad about money. It's a printed currency is super easy to carry. It's easier to carry than 50 pounds of dried salmon and a buffalo hide and a few pretty rocks. But it facilitates trade. But it doesn't hold value. And its value, it doesn't hold value. It can only represent value and can only reflect value. It cannot accurately reflect the value of food, water, shelter, clean air, clean soil, mental, emotional, physical, spiritual well-being, the limitations of money, talking about people are concerned about the economy. This is a good time to change. It's a good time for people to wake up and understand some of these things and get back to reality. That's the optimism part. This is a time for us to focus on real life. So, disengage from contemporary narrative, and everyone's so concerned about the people dying, the people dying, the people dying. Yeah, it's hard when someone close transitions, but people, again, the problem, the huge problem is that people only care about people. People don't care enough about other life forms. People don't respect other life. And people are so punched in, oh, what happens to me and what happens to these people? And well, what about our impact on other life forms? If we were all at the place where people are capable of being, we would understand these things. We would all have a clear understanding that there's, too many people, and that there needs to be less people. And what's going to happen when there's too many people and when there's too high of population densities in certain areas? This is going to happen. And for the main mentality to be only concerned about people dying without thinking, hey, you know what? It's maybe giving Mother Nature a break. It's what about these other animals? What about our reliance on the monetary system? What about our governments acting independently of other governments? And people thinking that, oh, well, these people are here and we're here, that but really we're all on this planet. So it's not disregarding human life to hold other life forms in respect also. And in fact, by holding other life forms in high respect and extending our respect and our love and our gratitude to other life forms, we're actually able to care more about human and care better for each other. So this is real life. This is understanding we're all connected. This is disengaged from linear mindset. This is disengaged from scarcity mindset. The scarcity mindset and the contemporary narrative is exactly what's killing our species. And the fact that people only care about our species is exactly what's killing our species. Did you catch that part? Because people only care about our species. That's their default. And it's selfish. And what happens since people only care about the human species? They act selfishly. They disregard the natural environment. And guess what? Oops, let me get in focus here. They disregard the natural environment, and guess what? That comes back. See how important it is to acknowledge other life forms and be respectful of other life forms? It's a fact. This is how life works. So we're disengaging from contemporary narrative. Our default values are food, water, shelter, clean air, clean soil, mental, physical, spiritual, emotional well-being. Our default values are not the government, the money, or the clock. Now, when everyone's got this nice quiet time, check yourselves. Check yourself. Kraig Smyth, Business of Being Human, disengage from linear mindset. Be safe, be well, make yourself well. Later.